Did that make sense to anybody? Yes? Excellent. So, before we walk out of here, within the next 20 minutes, pick one of those three, because I'm a firm believer. If you're still here, you got to pick one of those three. Otherwise, why are you here? It's almost 11 o'clock. Are y'all with me? Yes or yes? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. I know you guys are tired. Stick with me here. So now, I want you guys to understand, and I'm going to go through this quickly. Randy, are you keeping the time on this for me? No. You weren't supposed to. Help me. How much time since Gordon and I came up here? Anybody have an idea?
Yeah.
10 minutes? 10 minutes? Excellent. So I got it. Okay, awesome. Some of you may have seen this. I want you to hear this because we're going to start. I'm going to go through a ripple effect of the 5 different topics that I talked about. And my job is just to give you a template. And I'm going to use, actually, I'm going to go through it real fast, and then I want to give you an example of a coaching. Is everybody with me on that? Yes? Yeah. Yes, just nod your head. Look at the person next to you and nod your head. Okay? Tap them, nod your head. Okay? Make sure everybody's involved. If they're sleepy, tell them go to bed. Okay? Excellent. Everybody with me? Yes? Okay, let's get this. One of my partners, E.T. Eric Thomas, who also I'm sharing the stage.
You can write everything down if you want to. Be brave enough to write every one of your goals down. But I'm going to tell you something. Life's going to hit you in your mouth, and you got to do me a huge favor. Your why has to be greater than that knockdown. And I love it. Buster Douglas got knocked out. Nobody ever got knocked out by Mike Tyson and ever got back up. It was almost a 10 count. He was stumbling. They were 4, 3, 2, 1, ding, 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 saved by the bell. He goes to his corner. The whole world is like, that's it. Once he comes back out, that's it. Mike's going to just hammer it. And exactly that. Mike Tyson came out like, I got him. I got this kid up against the rope. Listen to me, many of you right now, life's got you up against the rope. You can't give up. You can't give in. Listen to me, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if life's got you backed up, I need you to do what Buster Douglas did. Buster Douglas started fighting back. Was shocked. Goliath has been knocked down. What happened? And they went to Buster Douglas and they asked Buster Douglas simply, like, what happened? And Buster Douglas said, listen to me, it's real simple. Before my mother died, she told the whole world that I was going to beat Mike Tyson. And 2 days before the fight, my mother died. Buster Douglas had a decision to make. When his mother died, he could die with his mother. When he made a decision, I can wake up and I can live for mom. And he knocked Mike Tyson out simply because his why was greater than that punch. His why was greater than defeat. His why was greater than his trial and his tribulation. And I'm telling you, if you don't know what your why is, and your why isn't strong, you're going to get knocked out every single day.
There it is. Anybody understand? Has anybody seen that one? Okay. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it over and over and over again. For people who don't understand it, Buster Douglas actually fought and beat Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson knocked him out cold, as he did everybody. Because that's what Mike does. He knocks people out. Buster was on the ground, knocked out. And the only thing that allowed him to stay in the fight is he had a 10 count. They got down to 10, and the bell rang right before 10 hit. He got up off the ground. He went to his corner. He was cold knocked out. And his mother had died 2 days beforehand and told him he was supposed to win. And he went back in the next ring, and Tyson went hammering at him. And Buster decided to fight back, as you just heard E.T. talking about. And Buster Douglas knocked him out. Not because he had the skill, not because he had a harder punch, but his why was bigger than his punch. So the step number 1 as to why I share all this with you, it comes down to your why. Why are you even here? Why are you going to do what you're doing? How great do you really want to be? You say you want what you want, but what price do you really want to pay? What congests your mindset? What filters your mindset? What distracts your mindset for you not to be consumed? See, there's something about success that you have to get what I call as an OG. You can write that down. It stands for an obsessed G. You have to be obsessed with your dream. You have to be obsessed, but beyond passion. Passion comes right after obsessed. People that succeed beyond all odds are obsessed. They don't even have time they don't care how many adversity, how many times they get hit. They don't care what doesn't work, what does work. They don't care about the marketplace. They don't care about their team. They don't care who quits. They don't care who gets in. They don't get excited about anything other than finishing their destination. That's all I understand. I don't try to understand. But I remember Daniel, he's one of my kids. He's massively successful. He controls Chicago for me. And we sat there one time and he said, Mr. Nelson, Bulgarian kid, beautiful man. He said, and I trained and built his whole family. He said, Mr. Nelson, I just don't understand. I said, why don't you understand? He said, I don't understand why everybody doesn't get what we do. I don't understand why they don't get it. I said, here's what you need to understand. If you understood what they don't understand, you would be where they are. Everybody's not supposed to understand where you're going. Everybody's not supposed to understand why you stand when other people don't. Everybody's not supposed to understand why you continue to do what you're doing when you aren't getting paid, when you think you should be getting paid, or when they think you should. You're helping. How long are you gonna go? How much more do I have to endure? You're in this relationship. How long do I have to put up with you coming in late at night? Leaving early. When are we going to get quality time? How many people heard that one? My response, you get quality time when you help me build the dream to be able to get quality time. If you aren't going to help me build it, that means you take it away. Somebody got to go, and it's not going to be me. Does that make sense, everybody? See, I love adversity and I love challenges. I love obstacles because once you learn how to do it one time, nobody can take it from you again. Once you know you can overcome everything, you can overcome losing a house. You can overcome losing a car. You can overcome losing a marriage. You can overcome losing everything. You're the responsible one. You may be the only one that has kids. You may be the one that's responsible. Somebody else is threatening you with this. They're leveraging this against that against you and all this. And you going and you freaking out. And they're stressing. I'm not going to support you on that. I'm not going to give you child support. I'm not going to help you with your business. You're too old to be doing what you're doing. You're too young to be doing. You can't even speak the language. You're from another country. Everything you tried, you failed at. What will you listen to that's going to make you quit on your dream? At what point do you find a reason to fail? Or at what point do you look into the eyes of someone who loves you that believes in you more than you believe in yourself? That is counting on you. For me, it's my child. So anybody who has children should really be able to relate to that. They don't know what you're going through and don't really care. All they know is you're supposed to be taking care of me and protecting me. And you're telling me, Mommy, you're telling me, Daddy, that you could be anything that you want to be. But you aren't being half of who you could be. Because they can see you. You don't think at the age of 3, 2, 4, 5, that you think they need to understand the language? Your energy speaks louder than any word you could ever say. You heard him say up here earlier, what's my partner's name that left, Samir? That had to leave with his wife, the other speaker? Sunil. You heard Sunil actually say, he actually said something I live into. And that is, you can write this down because it's something there's several different leaders that I know and great people that speak on it, but you have to be pissed off for greatness. Until you get pissed off, nothing's going to happen for you. I can be honest with you. If you aren't pissed off, nothing's going to happen in your life. Did that make sense, everybody? Yes. Nothing's going to happen until you get totally pissed off. That's when, like if you're in a relationship and you're done with the relationship and you're pissed off, when they're yelling at you, you're like, okay, are you done? So you can get on with your life because it's over. I got somewhere to be. There's nothing else to talk about because this is not serving me in any capacity. When you're done, when you're finally pissed off, like I'm done. What's there to talk about? Can I just love you for who you are and you get the hell out of my way so I can get where I need to be? How many people understand this conversation? You got to be committed to yourself before anybody else will commit to and for you. Does that make sense? The things that I'm going to share with you, the things that you touch on. The enrollment. Did the enrollment conversation help anybody today?
Yes.
I heard like 4 yeses. So nobody else had helped? Okay. Master the enrollment conversation. I need you guys to participate. I know it's getting late. I'm almost done. You guys with me? Yes? Yes. Excellent. The contacts. I'm going to give you numbers, real simple. I don't care what business you're in, you have to make at least, professionals do 25 contacts a day. In real estate, 25 touches a day. In insurance, 25 touches a day. In networking, 25 touches a day. You have to figure out, and a lot of people will come in here, that just sounds so much work, it sounds so overwhelming. How do I do 25 a day? Get out of your warm market. A lot of people are stuck in the warm market. Until you get out of your warm market, you will never know how to be able to speak. You say, well, how do you approach cold market? If they're breathing, they're warm. Anybody hear that conversation? If they're breathing, they're warm. A smile will kill everything and open up every door. You need to understand, that's a whole system I don't have time to show you guys on tonight of how to actually break that ice and still be able to get those 25 touches. But what I will tell you is 5 emails only cost you probably about 5 minutes. 5 text messages only. If I paid you $1,000 for every contact that you made, and you had to do 25 a day, I don't care how busy you are, you'd start at 7 and be done by 8. If you got $1,000 per contact, yes or yes? Yes. But you'll never understand $25,000 a day until you learn how to do at least 25 contacts a day. I'm going to say that again. You'll never understand $25,000 a day. You won't even understand $25,000 a month until you learn how to make 25 contacts a day. And that's called critical thinking. I can do 5 emails, I can do 5 text messages, I can actually do 5 YouTubes, I can actually do 5 brochures, or 5 DVDs and 5 books. I can actually talk to 5 people and pass out 5 cards wherever I go and just master the art of the conversation. The conversation is awesome. That's what we're going to get into during next week, of you learning how to be able to approach and get yourself out of the way. The mastery is not necessarily selling, it's sharing. When you learn how to be able to share, I have deaf mutes that make millions of dollars that can't even put 2 words together. In fact, it's the people that are the most dysfunctional and have the most odds against them that always succeed. So when they have all the talents and all the pros going for them, that make this hard and difficult. Is anybody understanding that? Yes. That's the numbers game. 25 a day gives you at the end of a week. That puts you at 125 times 4 weeks. Puts you at 500 contacts. 500 contacts, knowing the numbers. If you're the worst person on the planet in any industry, you're going to get a 10% closing ratio. That's 50 closes, depending on the value and the number, right? So if we're talking about a $500,000 piece of property, or if we're talking about $500 opportunity, then it's going to be on that. Then it's going to be the time frame to close out the volume. But the numbers won't lie. You will still close out 10% of your contacts. That's why every business is a contact sport. 500 in a month gives you 50. Duplication, if 5 people did what you did, think about your numbers all over. It just duplicates itself out. That's how you leverage yourself. Is anybody getting that so far? See, these are the questions. If I'm sitting here and I have somebody, nobody asks me, well, how many people do I need to talk to be able to make $100,000 a month? How many people do I need? I need to make $10,000 a month. Nobody asked me that. You can't ask now, it's too late. You have me all day. I came here for business. I'm in this business, and I need to make right now I made about $50,000. I need to make $150,000 this year. Last year I cleared $100,000. I need to make $250,000. Last year I made $500,000. I need to make $2 million. Last year I made $1.5 million. I need to get to the $5 million mark. How do I do that? That's the question I'm asking sitting here. I'm not sitting here all concerned like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is really cool. Oh, let me write that down. That was really good. No, I'm coming here for business. I need to know I need to know how to raise my income. I don't know what everybody else is in here for. You're in real estate, and you got some like Samir and Sunil. I'm asking, look, this is what I want to know how. I had a guy who I was training. He was doing about 50 pieces of property a year. I got him from 50 to 215 with a minimum comp of 750 and took that up to $1.5 million. And he was doing over 200 pieces of property per year in residential alone. That's business. How do I go from 100 closing escrows to 250? How do I go from 30 to 75. What questions are you asking? You aren't asking any questions. How do you show up to a multimillionaire seminar? But then you go back and you're challenged at home with all the questions and all the things that you want. You spend your time, you invest your time, you spend your time. See, everything I did since 2005 was either I'm investing or I'm spending. If I'm with a woman, I'm investing or I'm spending. If I'm with my boys, I'm investing or I'm spending. If I do a meeting for my team, I'm investing or I'm spending. I have to identify with all my time, is this yielding me anything? Is this person a servant? Is this person serving me in any way? Or is this something I'm just spending time on? When I'm sitting down with my team, why am I talking to you? I'm looking at you, well, what do you want to do next month? I want to do $10,000. $10,000 is what I want to make next month. How much money did you make over the last 6 months? Well, I didn't make no money. So how the hell are you going to go straight to $10,000, you stupid? Are y'all following me on that so far? Can we start with 1,000 just to get your belief system up? You crackhead? Are y'all with me on that so far? Because you got to be realistic. You got to start somewhere. But most people just get lost in their own head. It's like a black hole. They just think. And they're caught up in emotions. And they don't know how to express themselves. And they don't know how to come up and identify themselves. This is who I am. This is what I'm here for. This is what I need to change. This is what I want. Can you help me do it, or can you tell me who can help me do it? You go to a mechanic, what do you say? Why are you here? You just stood in the lobby for an hour do you have a car? Yeah, I have a car. Well, what are we doing here? I thought you could tell me. I don't know. Mechanic, have a car. That's how people show up to these seminars. They're just like, I'm showing up to fix something, to change something, to alter something, and people come and it's just like, I learned more about the carburetor. But it was the engine that wasn't working. The carburetor was fine. But I know how the carburetor works. Is anybody understanding this conversation? Yes. Okay. Performance, I think we've been talking about that. The 5 things I would teach for Lydia. The 5 things, if you started from scratch, start with number 1, your why. Number 2, I would do a complete diagnostic on your beliefs level, meaning on your belief level in yourself and on what you're doing and why you're doing it. Number 3, I will find out your purpose for being here, your purpose for living. Number 4, my most important question would be, what are you willing to give up to get what you want? Don't say you want to go to heaven, but you aren't prepared to die. And then number 5, my question would be, why do you want to work with me? Because I need you to have a reason why you want to work with me, because I'm not here just to entertain you. Does that make sense to anybody? As a coach, if you were asking me the 5 things, I need to know, because the true essence of success when it comes from a mentee to a mentor is the belief level of the mentee in the mentor. Because if you can't believe in the mentor, you will never acquire the information to become a mentor. You need to find anywhere between 2 to 3 people that you want to emulate. This goes into a conversation, as I said, with Michelle as to how do you become, I want to become a multimillionaire, I want to make millions, but I have a heart to save the world. Short version. Is everybody following me on that so far? And of all the people that I've seen with $1 million to millions, they don't resonate with me as to how I would operate as a millionaire. So it's very difficult, and this is a prevalent problem for a lot of people for a myriad of reasons who have a challenge embracing money, because in so many ways money has shown up in the wrong way. Does anybody follow me in this conversation? In a lot of different ways, it's tainted people, it's corrupted people, it has bred greed, it looks like all you're looking for, it has changed people's lives where all they're doing is chasing the money. You know, people say, okay, you're getting money to live an amazing life, but your life seems like it's going to be spent for the rest of your life just chasing the money. So there's a whole lot of things that go into, so are you getting me in this conversation? And so my answer for Michelle specifically was, you have to find anywhere between 1 to 5 people through your journey. You should never have to go past 5. That have the success that you want and have the habits. You got to figure out, you need to take from each teacher what they did, the habits to acquire the success they had, and create a new you. Because there's only a one you. And in turn, if your thing is philanthropy, don't say money is, you can't wrap your mind around money, because if you want to help a lot of people, it's going to cost a lot of money. So the key is understanding that you can represent for a whole nother fleet of individuals being raised in this new generation to actually understand the ethical, moral standards of a character that the more you give, the more you get. And then I just want to bless more people. But you can't bless people living in a space of lack. Did everybody get that? Be clear about that. It's the hardest thing. A lot of people want to save the world, but they have a challenge you got to figure out. And I'll tell you the best book to get for you. Honestly, it's a very abrasive, straightforward approach for you specifically, The Science of Getting Rich. Go get that book. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. For people that are challenged with the interpretation of how you have a relationship with money, go get The Science of Getting Rich. It's not for everybody. It's just for people that may have a challenge in how you perceive money. Did that make sense? Did everybody follow me on that so far? Thanks. I have no idea. I have so many books in my head. Yes. Say it again. Wallace. Yes. Wallace. Yes. Yes. I'm probably getting out 100 of them. I have like David Schwartz and Magic. I got so many books in my head. I'm just focused on mine right now, but I'll tell you the author of mine as soon as I get to it. It's dropping this year. And now that's going to be the bomb book. I mean, the book you need to read. Next thing, last, I got 2 things before we wrap up. The number 1 thing is called objections. What do you do to overcome objections? What are some of the objections you guys come across that you would like an answer to? That I can help you with. If you have none, I'll just get to the next one. Yes?
Well, how much money have you made off this thing?
You know what? That's a great question. I have not stopped counting it yet, so I'm not sure. But what I do know is I have more money doing what I'm doing than you do because you haven't even started. I asked you to help me build the hotel, not squat in it. That's my posture. I've been saying this since day one. What I did in objections is I actually sat in a vanity room and I sat down and I teach insurance people, I teach real estate, I teach us, I teach everybody the system. Go into a vanity room for at least an hour, preferably 2. I'm kind of crazy. I got to consider a room forever. But for an hour, at least 3 times a week, for 2 weeks, and write down, close the door, just you in the vanity room, and write down every objection you ever come across. And then when it comes up, you should either do R&D, your own research, or go ask other experts what is the answers, or become an amazing ear hustler and go to as many places you can, as many meetings, as one-on-ones, whenever deals are closing, and get and just record and write down all the answers. You're going to deal with somebody who's a college student. You're going to deal with somebody who's a multimillionaire. You're going to deal with somebody who's black, somebody who's white. You're going to deal with somebody who deals with nonprofits. You're going to deal with somebody who's a single mother. You're going to deal with somebody who gets no support at home. You're going to deal with somebody who got thrown out. You're going to deal with somebody who just moved to a new state. You're going to deal with somebody who has no contacts at all, who's scared of their own shadow. You're going to deal with all these things. It doesn't matter what you throw at me. I have an answer. I don't have any money. How long has that been your problem? Because if you're comfortable with that staying your problem, you need to stay where you are. But if you want to change that, you got about 1 hour to text me. Here's my card. Give me a call if you wanted to change. Think about it real hard, because after 1 hour, I will never answer your call again in life. Because broke and lack is a disease, and I don't want your kids knowing my kids because they might get it. I'm not here to sugarcoat and make you feel good. I'm here to make you wealthy. I don't have any time. Do you tell your wife that? Because I don't even know you and you're telling me you have no time. I know a lot of people have no time. I don't like being that busy. I like knowing that I can do whatever I want, when I want, how I want. Now, if that interests you, we can have a further conversation. If you're content with being busy and not having any time, not even having a life, then I need to let you keep doing that until it hurts bad enough that you find me. I'm not doing convincing conversations. You have to be ready for your own shift. We call it a paradigm, another conversation. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Excellent. Any other objections you guys are curious about? Yes or yes? No, yes, no. We good? Yes.
Looked it up on the internet.
I looked you up on the internet. It's a true conversation. That's why I said, I Googled it. I said, I Googled you. And I realized, I don't want you on my team. Because what I found is, the Google is actually the biggest bathroom wall on the planet, and it's people that have nothing to do but talk negative all day on the internet. And when I looked you up, I figured out that I wasn't inviting you to be a part of my movement to be a scientist. I didn't know that's what you went to school for. I'm not looking to employ scientists, I'm looking to employ entrepreneurs. Because if you Google any company and show me one that has no negative conversation about it, it probably is not a real company.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? I mean, it's like this is all day. I don't get stopped or bothered, or you aren't who I'm looking for. If I ask out 5 women and she says, well, it sounds good, it sounds interesting, where are we going to dinner? She says, can I think about it? And she says, well, it depends, I need to look you up. And she says, oh, you're cute. I have to check with my sister and get her approval. And she says, hell yeah, I want to go out with you. I'm like, well, okay, baby, let's go have dinner. I ain't got time to worry about these other 4. You need to go check with your sister. You need to do your research. How are you going to do your research without spending time with me? Is anybody understanding this so far? It's just applicable to life and business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the last piece to this, I want you guys to hear this. So we're going to do a quick exercise real quick. Let me find it real quick. And then we're going to be done. Is this helping anybody? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, 2 quick ones in the way. Let's do this. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, excellent. So, let's do this. First exercise. Who wants to be coached right now? Okay, stand up. I need like 5 that want to change your life. You're here at 11 o'clock. You should say, I want my life changed. You should just stand up. Okay, not everybody, just the people who want to stand up. Excellent. Okay, so just stand right there. Nobody else stand up. The ones that are standing are standing. Okay, excellent. What do you want to change about what you're doing right now?
Everything. My income, the way that I come across with people, my entire being.
Okay. What is your challenge?
My challenge is that I am living in a state of scarcity and lack, because I get it. I'm 100% responsible for where I am emotionally, physically, spiritually, and all that.
So tell me about your opportunity. What business are you in? Tell me about your business.
Okay, so.
Act as if I'm a prospect.
Okay.
I got you. Go ahead.
So what I do is I.
You can sit down, sweetie. I got you. I'll call you in a minute. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I show people how to actually change their lives.
Do it again.
Okay. I show people how to earn a monthly royalty income on everything.
Do it again.
Okay. Show people how to. What I do is I give people an opportunity to change their lives.
So right there, on each account, you spoke for probably about anywhere between 2 to 6 seconds and had more of a 20-second hesitation in between the entire sentence. Hesitation immediately shows doubt, doubt shows fear, fear shows pretty much weakness. You come across somebody sharp, they're gonna eat you up. You need 2 conversations whenever you're doing business. You need the elevator conversation. We're on the elevator, we're sitting there, Ask me what I do.
So what is it you do?
I actually show people how to walk off their job in 6 months or less, double their income, and if you own your own business, be able to quadruple your income of your stream coming back in so that you can actually get more time back if that's what you want. I'm a broker. I broker people's lives and create millionaires in the process. 30 seconds or less. Now, if I have more time, and you are asking me what do I do, which is more of a one-on-one sitting down, it's the demand, where I am, where I've been, where I'm going, and then the close, which you can still do in less than 30 seconds if you get great at it. Each of your conversations, you did it 4 times, 3 times actually. In those 3 times, 2 of them you had your hands in your pocket. Also shows weakness.
Right.
To a power player, they speak with their hands, they speak with their eyes. Your body language is everything. Your shoulders have to be back, your shoulder, your chest, and you have to be personal. And you have to be confident in whatever you're talking about. It has to come off fluid. Because people are going to follow strength. That's a culture. We work on that for an hour, and then you have to go home and work on it for the entire week. We probably meet at least 2 more times, and I put you out on the court to be able to see exactly how you do it. I go on the court with you, and then come back and see what the results are. And you'll see just in focusing in more on who you're becoming, you'll think less about what their response is. You think more about the income than you do the outcome. 90% fail because they're worried about the outcome versus the income. You have no outcome unless you're putting something into it. You're thinking about the wrong things. Excellent. Have a seat. Thank you.
I have a good question.
I have a quick answer.
Hesitation shows fear, fear shows doubt, doubt shows
Weakness.
weakness. Thank you.
We are natural animals. Animals smell. We live off of senses. I can't hear anything you're saying. I watch more of how you show up. I'm not talking about I as in Byron Nelson. I'm talking about the universe. When you show up, can you feel, which is why I had Sabir sit down, because that's another training. Working with someone like Sabir or Gordon or Sunil or Samin is another conversation. That's another algorithm. That's another ripple effect. And that conversation and training will go over everybody's heads, mostly in this room, because he's responsible for most of it. Does that making sense? So that's an onion. That's already halfway peeled because it's already en route. But in that conversation, when people are listening to you, they hear very little of what's coming out of your mouth as much as your body language when you show up. You are your best calling card. When you see Sabir up here, you can see his posture, you can see his energy, you can see his enthusiasm, you can see everything about him. You can see his pride with his family. You can see his pride with his business partners, whether it's an assistant, whether it's somebody answering the phone or somebody he's mentoring. It's like I'm that lion, and I'm Simba, who's growing into Mustafa. I control my kingdom. I protect it more than I'm the man. It's nurturing. It's a pride.